Ke Huy Quan stars in the new action comedy Love Hurts. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Marvin is a Milwaukee realtor who receives a crimson envelope from Rose, a former partner in crime who he left for dead. He now finds himself thrust back into a world of ruthless hitmen and double crosses that turn his open houses into deadly war zones. I was looking forward to Love Hurts. I love that Ke Huy Quan is returning to movies and he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. I'm all here for it. And when I learned that he was going to be leading this action comedy, I was only more interested within this film. And Ke Huy Quan is really likable within this film. All of that energy that we have seen before with him in other movies, it translates nicely to this movie. He is a realtor. He loves his job. He's trying to forget his past of being this ruthless killer for his brother, and he just wants to focus on himself. But Rose, played by Ariana DeBose, is bringing everything back to the light, and now he has to decide, is he going to live his current life or is he going to go back to his former self? With all that likable charm that Ke Huy Quan brings to this film, it does provide for a lot of more comedic moments from him, as we see that he does take his job very seriously, but when he starts to venture back into his former self, they provide that little bit of a comedic touch to it. Starring alongside Quan is also Marshawn Lynch, who I absolutely love. I loved him in Bottoms last year, but here he provides such a fun role. He's intense in the movie, but his quick wit and his charm is a highlight of the movie. And the action is filmed very nicely. There's a lot of intense hand-to-hand combat scenes, shootout sequences, knives being thrown left and right. But as the movie gears up towards its finale, the action becomes more intense and bloody as he starts to dust off his former self and get back into the game and become that full force ruthless killer that we have seen throughout the movie through these little bit of flashbacks. That's where the intense lies, is towards the end of the film with some really good action sequences. In beginning of the film, there is some decent action, but it's more of like this comedic style as he's not fully ready to take on these other killers and he's being tossed around. There's even a scene where he gets thrown into a refrigerator and gets tossed around within it. It's more of that light-hearted action where you're making fun of things that's happening. He's being tossed, he's being hurt constantly throughout. You don't believe that he can protect himself, so it has that more light-hearted approach to the action scenes in the beginning, but the end is where it's really good. But the problem with this movie is everything else. I like Marshawn Lynch, I like Quan within it, and the action's fun, but this movie was not very good. Quan, Marshawn Lynch, the action cannot hold this film together, as it's a film that I don't know the overall tone to it. Like I said, there's a scene where he gets tossed around in a refrigerator. That seems comedic. That seems a little bit zany to me and fun. But then at times it tries to take itself way too seriously with the love part to it all. I did not believe for a second that there was any sort of connection between Ariana DeBose and Ke Huy Quan and that they were in love with each other. And even through flashbacks and bringing up the past, they did a terrible job of developing that relationship to the point where I could care less if they got together. And Ariana DeBose, I don't know what she's doing. She needs a new agent or something, because the roles that she's been in lately, she's been terrible. She is a good actress and she's won an Academy Award. It's proven that she is talented, but the movies that she is choosing, it's not allowing for her to showcase her abilities. So she is just delivering a very generic performance. And the same goes for Kraven the Hunter, her role in that movie. She is not good in here. People fear her within this movie, but she relies so much on a taser to the point where you don't really get to even see her skill set as well. And that relationship just does not work within it. When it wants to be fun, it's with the action. But then it gets to this point where they're trying to be super romantic to the point where Kwan's assistant starts to have this profound experience of love with a poet, and it's so cringy and so awkward within this movie that it felt so unnecessary. And that's where the movie is trying so hard to be romantic and profound and so much about love and charming, and it just comes off as really forced. And when you try to develop Ariana DeBose and Kwan, their relationship does not develop naturally at all. When we learned that Kwan was this ruthless killer with his brother, the way that they structured this movie, they set him up as this likable guy, full of energy, just loves his job, wants to give everybody cookies. Right then and there, I could not view him as a ruthless killer. No matter how many times you had some flashback scene, no matter how many times you had this intense action moment, I did not buy one moment for the fact that he was this ruthless killer in the past. It did not work. Despite all that cool action and him killing people, could never buy into the fact that he was this killer in his previous career. And so it's a poor structure with how they set up this movie, with going full on with him being this likable, charming guy who just wants to sell houses, and then start to peel back slowly that he was this killer. I didn't buy in that for 1 second. This movie was not good. I like Lynch. I like Kwan within the movie. The action's really good, but that is it. The tones are all over the place. Ariana DeBose is not good in here. The romantic scenes feel poorly developed. His assistant within the movie, I can't believe that was an actual storyline, that she was falling in love with this poet, and it just dived into, it has to be this heavy romantic movie, and it just came off as severely awkward and just very cringy. So by the end of this movie, I could care less with what happened, where these characters ended up, if they fell in love or not. It was a movie that I was anticipating. I was looking forward to it, and it just did not work. I'm gonna go ahead and give Love Hurts a C-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Love Hurts, the new action comedy starring Ke Huy Quan. Have you guys seen it by chance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.